It's Sunday, January 7th, 2024. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Wanted to make a video today. A few things I want to discuss with all of you and I want you to feel free to comment down below about any of this. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But I was talking to a friend of mine today, and we were just talking about people's mindset. That he made a really good point that there are people that are making these videos. They're telling you and I to prepare, and these people, as much as they continue to tell us to prepare and to get ready, these people live in a gated community, so they feel that they're going to be safe. And so I'm kind of blown away that there are people out here making these videos, and you have to ask yourself, if you really truly believe what you're saying, how are you really preparing for what's coming, other than trying to sell things every day on your channels? People are selling so much, and I think they're too busy selling stuff than they are actually preparing. But if you really believe that there's big trouble coming, what are you really doing to prepare? You live in a gated community, so that means you're going to be safe. That is a big mistake. But again, too many people out here trying to sell stuff, and that doesn't mean that it's bad to sell something, but it should be something that if you're selling something, it should be something that you really believe in, not just because somebody's paying you money. And it's, what's the new flavor of the day? That's what I'm going to sell. Whoever pays me enough money, even though I would never use this in real life, I'm going to sell it to people and tell them they should get this. Even though you feel that all you need to do is live in a gated community and you're safe. You're not really preparing. You're just out selling stuff, but you're not really walking the walk, because if you were, you would actually be preparing, but you're too busy selling stuff instead of preparing. And there's way too much of that going on, and that's really sad. And I would be very careful of who you're listening to, who you're taking financial advice from. Some of the people out here giving financial advice are some of the worst people you'd ever want to take financial advice from. And yet people believe what other people tell them. I would just say, do your due diligence, be very careful. But anybody you're listening to, and there are some really good, talented people out there that are very prepared all the way around. But then there's people out there that just do this to make money, and that's it. They're total con artists, fakes, phonies. And their whole goal in this journey is just to make money. I'm going to be very honest with all of you. I try to do the best that I can. I do jiu-jitsu, I hit the gym, I've got at least a full year of food supplies. You all know I buy gold and silver. I've got cash reserves. I'm definitely getting out of the state of California. I have a plan. I have a circle. We're at the range training, water filtration products, all of that, and much more. And I'll watch some of these people, trying to put across the same message. But I look at these people and I go, man, you can just look at these people. They look extremely weak. I don't think they would do very well if they were ever confronted with violence. I think you would agree. You can just tell. And I just wish more people would actually walk the walk and not worry about making so much money on YouTube. I'm a capitalist. I believe you should make money. But there comes a point where you actually have to believe in what you're selling. Otherwise, you're just a fake. And there's a lot of fakes out there. Even myself, I tell people, wear good shoes, get good shoes. Put some good shoes, in your car in case you ever break down. Most of the time, will always wear a good shoe in case I have to ever deal with the situation or ever have to walk 10 miles. I have a good pair of shoes. All the way down to that. Do you have extra batteries, matches? It just, we're in a time where it's so difficult sometimes to believe certain people. And I think you really just have to really see if they're walking the walk. Are they just selling stuff? Are they showing you? You go to my Facebook, I've taken you out to the range, you've been to the Jiu-Jitsu Academy. You've seen some of my purchases from SD Bullion. I try to, include everybody a little bit, with what I'm doing, so I can share that with everybody, so that other people do the same thing. You need to get faster. You need to get stronger. You need to have defensive skills and be able to protect yourself. You should be at the range. Security is the number one asset. Food, water, all those things. And it's easy just to tell people to do that, but are these people actually doing it, or are they just out to make a dollar? And I'm not, I'm not pointing one specific person out or another. There's a lot of people doing this. And so, you can see for yourself if they're walking the walk. Are they sharing with you their training? Are they sharing with you their purchases? Are they sharing with you, some of their day-to-day experiences? Are they taking you to the academy? Are they taking you to the gym? Are they showing you what they're doing? Because it's easy to tell people what to do. Much harder to actually go out and do it. So be very, very careful of the CONMEN that are out there promoting, the end of the world, and if you buy this, you'll be better. If you buy that from me, you're going to be better. If you put your money here, you'll be better. Be very, very cautious, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into a little bit about what's happening in the economy. Trailer orders plunged 38% in November compared to October. Not a good sign for the U.S. economy. That is, a 38% plunge in November from October. That's a huge plunge. Orders in November of 2022 were 45% higher than in November of 2023. That is a huge number. So obviously we're seeing less product being shipped now with everything happening in the Red Sea, Panama Canal, and more disruption in the Middle East. We're going to see maybe possible supply chains breaking, products getting here at a much slower pace, probably not as bad as a couple years ago. But no doubt, when you see trailer orders plunging to this degree, it is telling us something. Here's one that everybody should be paying attention to. Pension fund crisis, ? CalSTRS seeks $30 billion. CalSTRS, one of the biggest pension plans in the United States of America, plans to borrow tens of billions of dollars to maintain liquidity instead of triggering a fire sale of its assets. The California State Teachers Retirement System has roughly $318 billion in its piggy bank, but it's going to need to borrow about 10% of that. Now, why is that? Well, like many other pensions, they invested in real estate. What kind of real estate? Commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is being decimated. And you've got to ask yourself, not just CalSTRS, this pension here in California, but other pensions, could be your pension. How much of your pension is invested in commercial real estate? And we are going to see an absolute bloodbath in commercial real estate. It's already begun. I don't think we've ever seen commercial real estate hit as hard as it's been hit right now. It's going to get much, much worse. Think about the pensions that are invested in commercial real estate and what's going to happen as commercial real estate collapses. What's it going to do to pensions? I do believe, we haven't talked about this in a long time, but I think we're going to see a time in America where, people are going to get a letter, and the letter is going to say, hey, we have some really bad news for you. Unfortunately, you're only going to get 50% of your pension. You're only going to get 75% of your pension. You'll only get 25% of your pension. And some people may get nothing. They will get zero. Everybody just believes that all of this is indestructible. It's immune, that the pension system could never collapse. Well, that is a fallacy. And looking at how much money has been invested, and they were able to borrow money so cheap and invest in commercial real estate. Now it's all having to be refinanced starting this year. Prices are plummeting. Office buildings are sitting vacant. We're seeing all these commercial structures sitting vacant because businesses can't make it, or the crime is so bad that they have to close down. And of course, people just aren't going back to the offices. And so you're going to see just a massive collapse in commercial real estate. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to admit it. And you have to look at what's tied into commercial real estate: pensions. Pensions. And I've said for years that you can't rely on your pension to be there 10 years from now, 5 years from now. You should be putting something away. You should be putting some gold away, putting some silver away. Just because if something happens to that pension or that pension takes a massive haircut, at least you have something else to fall back on. Most people have absolutely nothing. They just believe that, they're going to, hit the jackpot at the end of their career and they'll just have their pension and ride off into the sunset. That used to be, but that is not going to be the future of the United States pension system forever. Things are changing. They're changing rapidly. Here's another one. BRICS expands footprint in global south. This on the hedge today. January 1st. Most people were not aware of this. You didn't really hear much of this on the news. Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Emirates formally join the BRICS group. January 1st, 2024. This now adds to the original group of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. When you take a look at this group of countries right now, you take India, about 1.5 billion people, China, close to about 1.5 billion people. Literally half the people on planet Earth live in those two countries. You take Saudi Arabia, Iran, United Emirates, Russia. These are oil superpowers. Russia, China, massive militaries, massive nuclear capabilities, huge advancements, huge technology. China, the four biggest banks in the world, China holding more gold than anybody in the world, number 2 to that. Russia, number 3 to that, probably, I think, India. Food production, Russia is huge, and obviously it looks like they're going to take over Ukraine, and that will they will literally be the entire breadbasket over there. It's amazing looking at these countries, the GDP, the population, what they produce, what they manufacture. China alone manufactures nearly everything in the world. So how people here in America don't see this as a threat, I don't understand it. And BRICS is going to continue to grow. As they grow, they're going to become more powerful and have more influence on the world. And they're going to grow a lot more because the world is sick and tired of the weaponization of the US dollar. And so you're going to see big changes coming to the world. It's already begun, but things are going to accelerate just like they've begun to accelerate in 2024. Brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves because things are really about to change. This just came in about an hour ago. Congressional leaders reach $1.59 trillion deal on top-line spending, paved the way for deal to fund the government. This on CNBC. $886 billion is going to military spending, $704 billion to non-defense spending. Now, I have got to ask all of you this question. Please comment down below. Where is this money coming from? $886 billion more in military spending. Unbelievable. And where the $704 billion will go in non-defense spending is anybody's guess. I'm sure much of it will be robbed and pillaged and abused and whatever. But where's this money coming from? How much is going to be borrowed? How much will be printed? And the real question here is how much more inflation is another nearly $1.6 trillion going to cause here in the United States? This is going to be very, very inflationary. How anybody can sit here and say that the Fed should be cutting rates. This is a big problem, again, that the Fed is going to have to deal with is that the government cannot stop spending. So every time that the Fed kept raising, the government kept printing and spending and borrowing more money. And I don't see how the Fed can slow down now when you're talking about another $1.6 trillion. I don't see how inflation's going back to 2%. I don't see how inflation just isn't going to continue to climb and climb and climb. We are printing so much money, borrowing so much money, wasting so much money. And this is just another reminder to all of you that there's no way inflation's going away, and there's no way that the Fed is going to be able to cut rates in March. Honestly, I don't see how the Fed can cut rates this year. If they do, they're going to create even more inflation. It'll be great for gold and silver. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it'll be wonderful, but there's a price to pay, and be careful what you wish for. People go, oh, gold's going to go to 5,000, 10,000. In a world where gold is $5,000 to $10,000, you are living in a Mad Max society. So be very, very careful what you wish for. Personally, I wish gold would stay under 2,000 and everything would be calm and cool, and these wars would die out, and things would just calm down. But that's not going to happen, because more than likely gold is going to go to $5,000+, and more than likely you're going to be living in a Mad Max type society. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but that's what is going to happen, in my opinion. Could be wrong. I hope and pray that I'm wrong. I hope that these bad times can be avoided, but I don't see how they can. And I'm a realist. And being a realist, like many of you, this is why we prepare. This is why we prepare. Just going back to the days of Noah, it took Noah nearly 100 years to build that ark. Building an ark in the middle of the desert, he prepared. And when the day came and the rain came down, that ark door closed shut and nobody could get in. And it was just Noah and his family, and that was it. And so, you got to heed the warnings, ladies and gentlemen. If you think that there's a storm coming, if you think trouble's coming, then you need to be preparing. And if you don't, you only have yourself to blame. Article here today from the Daily Mail, JP Morgan's 10 shockers for 2024. If you get a chance, check it out. I'm going to talk about one of them. The one shocker here on the list, rolling blackouts, electricity and natural gas outages. I think that's a huge possibility, and you have to ask yourself, are you able to deal with the power being out where you live? How long could you go if the power was out for 2 days, 3 days, 2 weeks? Could you survive? Your refrigerator's not working. What if your water's not working? The lights aren't working. Your electric oven isn't working. What would you do? Can you survive? Do you have food put away? Do you have a way to cook it? These are things I want you to be thinking about right now. And look, I don't sit here to tell people I have all the answers and all the solutions. What I do sit here to do is just throw these data points at you, and I hope and pray that you're thinking about them and thinking about your own solutions, because everybody's situation is different. You need to be thinking about your own solutions. Reuters, I'll finish with this last one. New California law allows non-U.S. citizens to become police officers. And I want to get your opinion on this. It says here, now anyone can legally work in the state of California under federal law, can be a police officer regardless of citizenship. You no longer need to be a U.S. citizen in California to be a police officer, to carry a gun, a badge. I don't know if that's a good idea. Comment down below. You could be arrested by somebody who came to this country illegally. Think about that. Somebody who broke a federal law, came here illegally, could arrest you. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. So somebody came here, the first thing they did was broke the law by entering illegally, breaking a federal law, and then becomes a police officer and now has the ability and right to arrest you. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is safe? Does this make any sense to you whatsoever? Somebody could have broke the law just getting here and then is the law. Interesting. Again, I'd like to know your thoughts on this. Comment down below. I'm going to leave it there today. Hope you all are having a great weekend. I hope you're all preparing. I hope you all spend a little time this weekend to add to your preparations, to add a little bit more to your training, getting in better shape. It's just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. We're just starting 2024, and wow, it has started with a bang. So much happening, not just here in the U.S., but around the world, but so much right here happening, and so much of what's happening here is going to impact the world at some point. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Have a great day. God bless.